For years, I tried to predict the market. I watched the headlines. I followed focus on CNBC, on news and macro forecasts. I reacted to every big move, and over time, I learned something important. As people say, experience is the best teacher. I learned that predicting the market didn't make portfolio grow much better. In fact, it made me busier and more stressed. So I stopped doing it. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the simple framework that I use instead in my trading and investing, and how I invest and trade today, and why I now do fewer trades as I started this new year using option strategies such as cash secured puts and covered calls, and how I think of my investing and trade as a long-term owner, not a speculator. So if you want calmer, more intentional way of trading and investing in the stock markets, this video is for you. And by the end of this video, you will understand why I stopped predicting the markets, how I reset businesses instead of chasing prices, because prices can go up and down. That's just the nature of how stock prices move. They follow how I use option strategies, like I mentioned, such as, cash secured puts and covered calls, and the difference between investing and trade and the mindset shift that has changed everything in my investing and trading journey. Now, I always want to be upfront with you, my dear viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I share my experience, and I'm not a personal financial advisor. What I'm sharing here is what I'm learning, my mistakes, and some of the things that I am learning as I am building my wealth. So always do your due diligence and make sure, if you want one-on-one coaching, you can book some time with me on www.streetwiseeconomics.com. I coach people. What I observed over the past few years since 2020, when I was participating in the market, is that markets are highly unpredictable because there are a lot of variables and a lot of moving parts. And headlines, they change daily. Geopolitics, interest rates, inflation, policy shocks can shift sentiment overnight. And these are some of the things that can, cause prices to fluctuate, to go up and down. So think of it now, trying to predict the market. It's something that can be very stressful. And I'm not saying it's not something that can be done. A lot of people, they do it. But for me, what I've seen is that in terms of my results, I want analysis or focus and just learn from them. But beyond that, I want to do more for me to make my trading and investing decision. So let me give you an example of the renewed US and Venezuela tensions. I was actually about getting ready to sleep, and my friend Eddie, if you are watching this video, is my very good friend. He lives in Alberta. He was telling me, like, oh, brother, did you see what's happening in Venezuela? I'm like, what? What's happening? And then I went on X, and I noticed that, there was a lot of reports that the US had, was, invading or, capturing, kidnapping, whatever you can call it, the then President Nicolas Maduro. And that was a lot of things. And for me, the first instinct was, how is this going to move the markets, right? And sure enough, the futures markets on Sunday, when they opened, oil stocks, oil futures, they were green, right? In other words, in anticipation of, because Venezuela produces oil, even though it produces less than 1% in the oil market globally, it has one of the highest reserves of oil. So by the US actually having access to those reserves, it was bound to likely have some impact. So on Monday, the market was actually green. Mostly the oil stocks, they were up, right? And new information emerged. And trust me, Monday, Tuesday, most of those gains, they were gone. So in other words, probably there are people who made a big bet to say, oh, the markets, they are going, they are going to continue going up. That's how people lose money, because there are a lot of moving parts. So the key thing is to manage risk and, of course, understand that framework at a macro level, but also even at an individual business level. So those are some of the things that I've learned, is that reacting to macro noise leads to emotional decisions for the most part. So process leads to consistency. So I'm also, reminded that for me, it's helpful to think as a long-term investor, because these fluctuations in the short term, they are bound to happen for the most part. So instead, I am not spending most of my time asking myself, where is the market going next? Because I don't know and nobody knows, right? Now I ask, what do I own and at what price, right? Is it something that I consider to be a business with good management, with good financial statements? And is it something that I will own comfortably and sleep at night, right? So by making sure that at least there's a longer run where the free cash flows that are growing, they're profitable, they have a lot of cash, they have good management, it essentially gives me a very good probability of success. Notice I'm talking about probabilities, right? So that's how I have been trading. So most of my time I spend researching businesses, building a watch list. I have a watch list of stocks that I'm following, and I wait patiently. But if I have a long watch list, most likely I have opportunities to trade or to invest all the time. And I also want to have a bit of cash, because I noticed that over the years I would be fully invested most of the time. And what would happen is that if the market drops by 20-30%, means my portfolio is down. So if I have some cash, I look at the fear and greed index. When most people are fearful, that's when I want to be taking a decent amount of risk. I want to be writing a lot of selling cash secured puts and aggressively doing so on businesses that I was doing research and that I believe to be confidently going to go on. So that's what I do, right? And I don't need to have, to stay in constant action all the time. They are doing most of their research, the access to see to executives in business. It's not that necessarily they would get inside the information, but they can go, let's say, for example, you want to invest in a hotel stock, right? A stock that, does services in the hotel sectors. Most of the time, it's like I go to the hotel, I get a good experience, so I can go to 3-4 locations, and I do that. And I'll give you an example. The other time, I went to a shopping mall here in Canada, in Streetwise shopping center, and I noticed that there were a lot of people lining up, queuing up. And that's how I realized, like, I asked them, why are you guys queuing up? They were waiting to get inside the shop called Aricia. It's they sell ladies clothes. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I didn't know much about this business. And when I got home, what I did is I went on to research, like, oh, okay, do this stock, how have they been profitable? Do they have cash? I noticed that actually they had very little debt. And now the key question is it at the right price? So what I did is, at that time, fortunately, and what did I do? I got in and I bought some shares, and sure enough, it eventually went up. Probably it might have been just coincidence. And that's essentially my strategy. If I'm using an iPhone, an Apple Watch, are they good products, right? And then I move on to look at their financials, but it shouldn't be detached from the real world. So those are some of the things that I've been learning. And rather than trying to predict everything in the market, in the stocks, stock prices, those are the things that I focus on. Now, I mentioned that some clients, when they come for coaching, it seems like they don't understand the difference between trading and investing. So let me be clear. This can be confusing to beginners. Investing is about owning businesses. I'm talking about owning business for the long term. That's something that is very, very important. And that rule of only trading businesses I'm comfortable to own eliminates a lot of bad businesses. I will tell you that in the US, most, let's say 5% of the businesses in the US, they meet my criteria that I, mentioned. Long-term debt that is declining, profitability over the past at least 4 quarters. Those are the things that I look at, right? So my core framework is I want to be researching companies and focus on the fundamentals, not the chart. I only use charts to then get that's what I do. And another thing that I'm going to highlight, I'm about to wrap up here is I noticed that it is very important to have free cash flows, right? And when I'm doing cash secured puts, in other words, I put options to buy those stocks. I prefer to choose a strike price that is lower than the current price and get paid for that. I like to do that. I generate cash flows if the publicly listed business meets my criteria. So that's why I anchor my research and then sell cash secured puts and avoid naked option, because in that case, options and the decay factor. So selling cash secured puts, it means the decay would work on my favor, because the more I get to, the time frame, let's say if it's a 1 month option contract, and if I'm getting to towards the expiry of the contract, the stock is going you generate profit, right? And sometimes I manage risk by just closing the position, because things can happen, right? And if it then drops, then that profit might be wiped away. So that's the process that I use. The two outcomes that I get by using cash secured puts is collect premium income, and if I get assigned, I write covered calls. And these are businesses that I otherwise for the long term. And that income, in fact, helps me to grow my account, reinvest, and support my lifestyle. It's as simple as that. So this is very different from gambling with naked options, like I mentioned. So that's really my strategy, and those are the reasons why I stopped actually predicting the market. And the key thing as I'm wrapping up is that the best strategy is to own wonderful businesses at reasonable prices. That's what Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, these are people, may so rest in peace, Charlie Munger is dead, but Warren Buffett retired last year, 31 December 2025. These are people who have been who managed billions for years, right? And they've experienced. Not to say they are always correct, but I like to learn from the best, and I like to stay within my circle of competence, things that I use every day, businesses that I understand. I often also get asked, how do I even get started when investing? I often tell people, my honest answer is have a plan, build an emergency fund, invest in education, and then invest in the markets. You cannot skip foundations. So that's it. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and you can book for one-on-one coaching. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye for now.